Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome to another episode of The Front. Thank you for taking the time to tune in and join me today. As always, please check out the website at leadtheteam.net for free sales training, for motivational content, and for leadership tips. And if you would, cruise on over to leadtheteam.tv, subscribe to the YouTube channel there, and make sure you click the little bell notification icon, because I would love to have you notified when I go live or when I share new episodes. That would be absolutely awesome. So today I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to be sharing some thoughts on kindness.
Thanks for tuning in to Lead the Teams, The Front.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me today. My name is Mike Phillips, and I will be your host. This is The Front, and I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to share some thoughts on kindness. And the reason this is weighing on me today is because of a lot of different interactions that I've been a part of, a lot of different things that I've seen happening. I happen to, when I'm in dealership, I am the person that works with customers on conflict resolution. And sometimes when you get into those situations, it can be really tough to continue being kind to people, because we immediately want to defend our position, and that's not always the right thing to do. It's not always the kind thing to do. And there are all kinds of things, from interactions with my kids and some of their school friends or acquaintances. I had a situation I watched on one of the social networks yesterday where an individual messaged another individual and was telling them how they didn't do a good job at something. And there was no reason for that conversation other than the fact for the one person to make the other one feel bad. And so when I'm seeing some of this stuff going on, and what happens is it affects us. Those outside influences affect us. I even noticed when I was driving with my wife the other night, we were driving back from a football game, and I was getting really agitated with the other drivers. And my wife had to check me for a minute. She says, "Mike, chill out, man. You're getting really, really agitated." She says, "We always are telling our kids that they need to maintain their kindness, that they need to be kind. You need to take a look in the mirror." And I said, I was like convinced. I said, "No, these other drivers, the reason that they're driving this way and the way that they're acting, they're doing it on purpose." And it's like, well, maybe they're just not good drivers, or they're not going as quickly as I wanted to at the time. And so when you're saying to yourself, okay, well, Mike, this show is about leadership and motivation and leading from the front and staying out front and grooming yourself to be out in front, coaching and teaching others, how does this tie into this episode and this show of the podcast, The Front? And it's just a reminder, when you put all those things in the basket, it's hard sometimes to maintain our individual kindness, our individual niceness with other people, because we automatically assume, based on some of these other interactions that we've seen, we automatically assume that this individual is trying to be mean or take it out on us. And I'm just here to remind you today that that is not always the case. So like my wife told me, sometimes you got to take a look in the mirror. And I want to share a couple definitions. First off, niceness and kindness are not the same things. Being nice to somebody and being kind to someone, they run parallel, but I don't think they're exactly the same. Being nice to somebody is being pleasant and agreeable and satisfactory. Being nice is fine, right? It's subtle. It's calm. Being kind is the quality of being friendly and supportive, generous and considerate. Kindness to someone else, kindness to another human being, takes some grace, especially depending on the situations, right? So there are benefits to being kind. When we're talking about being kind to another person, first off, I'm here to remind you that everyone is affected by an act of kindness. Kindness is contagious, and you never know how big of an impact you will have on another person, no matter how small your gesture is. See, like I said, in this situation, it was a friend of mine, and he got a message from another person saying how not good he was at something. And there's literally no reason for that. There's no reason to reach out to bash someone else and knock their ego down. That person clearly has an assumption that, well, if I knock this other person down, it's going to help build me up. And that isn't how it works. And so vice versa, I reached out to the same individual and I said, hey, listen, I was going through this category of things that you were doing, and I think you do a great job. And sometimes it's just that small gesture. It's that small compliment. It has to be genuine, but that can really build somebody up. It can get them through the day that it's like, man, I've been being berated and I'm getting my hat handed to me on all this stuff. And it's really nice to hear something nice. It's nice to have somebody that is being kind to you. The other thing is kindness improves our quality of life because it brings other people together. And so this is where I think the rubber really meets the road. This is where on the front this ties in, because it takes strong acts of kindness to be a good leader. It does. When you are kind to other people, even in adversity, that brings other people together. When you are kind to others, as a leader, your team is watching to see how you react. Like I said a minute ago, I happen to be the person that works with conflict resolution within our store. And so what often happens is, somebody comes and they present their way of seeing things. And keep in mind, people's perception, whatever their way of seeing it is always right to them. So it's not my job in that moment to convince them that our way is right or to convince them to think otherwise. It's my job to listen. It's my job to be kind and show some grace and show some respect for what their philosophies and their thoughts are. And once that person has been able to share all of the things that are important to them, good or bad or ugly or whatever they may be, once that person's able to get all of that out on the table, that is when and if I've listened really well, then I can go ahead and respond and align myself with them, normally through an act of kindness. And one of the unique things I've been thinking about, and I was thinking about this, I have some notes, so if you see me looking to the side, because I wrote this down in the moment when I was talking with somebody the other day. And, contrary to popular belief, being kind to another person is not a weakness. I think at points, people see, well, this person's being nice, right? If you go back to the definition of nice, being pleasant and agreeable and subtle, then it comes off that person's being a marshmallow. And kindness is not weakness. It's the ability to stay nice and show grace and be considerate even when difficulty arises. Being kind is not sacrificing your values. It's not sacrificing your core for any other person or for the situation that is at hand. And that's how you're able to maintain your grace and stay kind at the same time, right? Don't sacrifice the core. My wife is such an awesome woman, and she always tells our kids, especially our daughter, but she always tells our kids when they're headed into like class and stuff, she always looks them right in the eye and she says, hey, and remember to be kind to other people. Because especially when it comes to little kids, everybody has their own thoughts, their own philosophies. They little kids are going this direction, right? They all want to head their different ways. They all want to have their own realities. And so in that situation, just, not wanting to play on the playground or do the same things as another child, not wanting to participate in the same activities as the other child, sometimes at that kid's age, they go, well, that person's not being nice. Well, no, them maintaining their core and not wanting to do that doesn't mean they're not being nice. They can still be being kind and respect that person's position without folding and saying, well, that's something I really didn't want to do. And you could say, Mike, this is hey, this is a silly example, but there is so much we can learn from youth and from kids, and especially in being kind to other people, because they have to learn, they have to be taught to be cranky with others. I think that's my opinion. So keep in mind, being kind, it doesn't mean you have to agree with somebody else. It doesn't mean you have to condone what somebody else's position is or what they're doing. It's simply that you're not going to trash them for having that position, and you're going to maintain your core and your integrity and not waver. So that's just the whole message for today, that being kind it doesn't mean you have to be a marshmallow. And I will tell you, I've had people reach out to me, and I have had this comment made directly to me, because all of my videos, I always put that positive spin. Like today, I'm talking about, look, how being kind affects you as a leader. Why? Because your people are watching. And if you want kind and mature employees and staff, then they're going to have to, they need to learn from somebody. They're going to watch you, and they're going to behave in that manner. If you're a jerk, you're going to spawn jerks. That's how it works. I could be a poet. I rhymed right there. So anyway, that's the whole message for today. Just be kind to other people. Smile at somebody today. Give them a genuine compliment, no matter how small or how large. Someone that you come in contact with today is going to need your act of kindness. So give it to them. That's my thoughts on kindness today. So for those of you that joined, if you joined live, thank you so much. If you're joining later, please do me a favor. Give the thumbs up, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, whatever platform you're on, give the thumbs up. Share the video, right? Please share this video on your social media. Get the word out, and let's spread some positivity and remind others that it is important, it's okay, it's mature, and it's strong to be kind to other people today. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.